Greetings everyone and welcome back to RimWorld Ye Olde Knights, where today we're just kind of hanging out in our keep, being monarchs and nobility and whatnot. Kind of digging out an extra area for our Ye Olde armory here that we've been working on. We are also currently working on clearing out all the rock rubble from the Ye Olde Hospital that we're kind of building here in our keep as well. We carved out a nice little slice of the mountain for it. I decided to go with some sandstone flooring in our Ye Olde Hospital room because it seemed much more sanitary than some regular wooden planks that we've been laying down. We built some beautiful, super comfy beds and some awesome end tables to match. In the very hospital we were building, our slave Gwa Borka, I believe is her name, was trying to convince our other slave Kale to rebel with her. Thankfully Kale denied this offer and it was simply Gwa Borka that was doing it. Of course, though, we quickly stomped out the flames of rebellion and forced them to go back to work on smoothing the walls. This slave rebellion did make me realize, though, right now we only have 2 slaves, but in the near future we would be getting more and more prisoners from the ever-increasing raids. Where would we house all these prisoners, though? So I decided to go ahead and mine out a big chunk of the mountain for a large prison. The prison was probably the largest project to date that we had started inside our keep. We worked tirelessly on it come rain or shine and day or night, and we continued mining and mining. We kept mining up until about the time that we had a manhunter pack enter our territory. It was apparently a manhunting group of huskies. That's right, man's best friend has come to slaughter us. Unfortunately for the huskies, though, our defenses have fought off better creatures on worse circumstances, so they began entering our murder hallway, and I guess you could probably guess how this turns out. Did you guess already? If you guessed that the huskies all died in the murder hallway and didn't even make it out to the end, then you were correct. Oh, those poor dumb beasts. For a brief period of peace, we went back to clearing out all the rubble on the inside of our prison we carved into the mountain. But as we all know, peace is never an option here. A group of pirates from the Ash Sides were dropping right in on top of our keep. Those crazy SOBs fell right in on our dining room, our great hall where we eat our weak stews. If there is one thing you do not do here, it is mess with the king and queen's weak stews. We are going to slaughter all of these pirates. And so we did. We literally went around in a large group just murdering every single pirate that we found. One of our slaves were actually injured attempting to defend us as well. I would normally reward this type of behavior with like a rug or a bed instead of a bedroll, but they did try and have a slave rebellion earlier in the episode, so I don't think so. But on the bright side, we ended up recruiting Shark. He was one of the pirates, I believe, or pharaohs, or somebody that we had previously taken prisoner. It really doesn't matter because he is no longer part of that life. He is nobility now. And after some time, we finally finished up our prison. Well, we still needed to smooth the walls, but we had all our furniture in place, so that was nice. Some time later, we had a large piece of a spaceship fall from nearby, and apparently it was going to kill all the plants in the area. So we began setting up some wooden embrasures and wooden barricades to fire from behind. That way we could try and kill these mysterious robot invaders and their ugly ship. Because if we don't, we won't have any more potatoes and corn for our stews. We even decided to make good use out of all the limestone and marble chunks lying around by launching them at these filthy mechanoids. That's right, if you drop a ship in our land, we're going to drop a few rocks on your heads. The first chunk bopped one of the mechanoids on the head, and then they woke up and were very angry about the concussion they had suffered. Unfortunately, our accuracy with the catapult seemed to get less and less, accurate, and our people became more and more injured from the mechanoids' attacks. At some point, I decided to cut our losses for the time being. I didn't want anyone to bleed out there on the battlefield, so we began packing up our ballista and our catapult to head back home and kind of regroup and rethink the battle. Unfortunately, making the long trek home with our tails tucked firmly between our legs. After returning home, we started shoving some herbal meds into our gunshot wounds to, clog the wound up. But we would quickly return to the battlefield, bringing many sandstone chunks down with us, as well as an additional catapult, so we could try and hide behind this small hill formation type of thing and shoot at them without being shot back at. Back home, I seen Lumi and Brex having a fist fight in our field in the rain. This is also a good time to mention I did give Busto her proper queenly attire after I accidentally gave it to Brex last episode. I'm still very sorry about that. But there was no time for apologies. We had Mechanoids to smash with big chunks of rock, so we went back to the battlefield and started firing catapults at them. This time, somehow, we were much more accurate with our giant boulders, and everyone else gathered around the embrasures to flank the Mechanoids from the side. It took a little while, but there on that fateful day in the rain, we ended up smashing all the Mechanoids or shooting them to death, and we finally arose victorious. Ah yes, but wait, I almost forgot about the large ship chunk on the ground. The king and queen began just beating the shit out of it until it eventually fell apart. It was very resilient, but eventually we prevailed as always. All victories come with a price though. Almost all of our nobility were very injured as the Mechanoids were extremely resilient and very dangerous. It's actually a bit epic that we defeated those Mechanoids. So epic, in fact, I decided to make our very own holiday that we would celebrate the defeat of those Mechanoids each year. I'm not sure why this clip is so long. I doubt you guys wanted to see me type out this entire thing, so there we go. What is this, amateur hour? In the meantime, though, as our monarchs and our nobility were just enjoying some peaceful times of no war and whatnot, I thought that I would have our slaves try and, tame some animals, such as some more pet rats for our nobility to enjoy. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure how she planned on taming a rat with a potato. Does she shove the entire potato into the rat's mouth? I'm pretty sure it's about the size of a potato, so I don't really understand, to be honest. That's okay, though. The rat didn't seem to be interested anyhow, but he'll come around eventually. In the meantime, though, while we're waiting on the rat to change his mind and come back begging us just to be our pet, we had a Muffalo self-tame, which would be actually very useful in the upcoming future because I had some plans to maybe do some raids and whatnot, so this Muffalo could try and pack our gear and whatnot for us, which would be awesome. If you're wondering where I got the name Garnish from, it's a secret. After some time, I also decided that kind of felt like our nobility's true purposes and skills were being wasted in some areas, so I thought to myself, what does every noble house on the Rim have? Well, we're the only noble house on the Rim as far as I'm aware, but it would be awesome to have some beautiful art sculptures and whatnot to put around the place, so we built our very first small art sculpture. The art sculpture was apparently very beautiful, as we already knew that it would be. It was apparently an abstract rendering of silence itself, which is very poetic, I suppose, and it also had an outline of 4 priests. I don't know if this is an omen of death or a good sign, but I like the art. While our nobility were making art sculptures, one of our slaves actually tamed a beautiful little black rat for us just outside our walls. I decided to name the handsome little creature Jorge. The name Jorge, well, I can't tell you where I got it, it's a secret. And in the meantime, we also decided to go ahead and carve out a nice little square barn-like area for our Muffalo and any other animals that we would tame in the near future. Something I'd be interested in right now and getting, animal-wise at least, would be some stallions and mares, and that way we could have some horses. I do have a mod, I believe, installed. If not, I can always install it, where we can make horse-plated armor, which would go perfect with our nobility's armor as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go ahead and call this episode 6 of Ye Olde Knights. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys once again. I know I say this every video for the most part, but thank you guys so much for your support on the series, the channel, for me. You guys are just absolutely wonderful. If you guys are watching this, somebody's watching this, you're not subscribed or anything like that. I know everybody says this on this platform. Go ahead and do that for me. If you like what you're seeing, we're going to be making lots and lots more content like this. We don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, but thank you guys so much. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.